So he says the ancient Japanese word for the energy or the vibration inherent in all living things is Kaputo. H-A-P-O. That's what we talk about. It's Kaputo there. And we'll get into that tomorrow.
Oh, I know that.
Cool. And now I want to show you a water crystal experiment that he did. This is a video.
So, how are the frozen water crystals photographed? We begin by collecting a sample of the water that we want to observe. Here, our researcher is at Shiraitono-Taki Falls, a well-known spring on the slopes of Mount Fuji. The tremendous amount of water that precipitates on Mount Fuji travels through the mountain as groundwater. 20 years later, it pours out as spring water here at the Shiraitono-Taki Falls, where the water flow amounts to more than 100,000 tons per day. Water gushing forth relentlessly from the cliff. In search of water, our researcher is approaching the area just below the fall. He is filling the container with fresh water. He brings the water back to the Institute as specimen. First, he taps the bottom of the container to activate the water. Then, he squirts 1 milliliter of water onto each petri dish. In order to obtain a more accurate crystallization trend, we create 50 frozen samples of every water specimen. The petri dishes are placed inside a freezer in the laboratory and frozen at minus 25 degrees centigrade. The crystals are then examined inside our laboratory, where the temperature remains at a constant minus 5 degrees centigrade. 3 hours later, we examine the tip of each ice block by illuminating it under a microscope. The crystals start to grow and expand as the temperature of the ice tip rises under the microscope. Usually, however, of the 50 ice blocks that we have to work with, only a few reveal their beautiful hexagonal crystals on camera. What kind of crystal will the water from Shiraitono-Taki Falls show us? A beautiful hexagonal crystal with delicate trimmings growing slowly from the 6 points of the hexagonal core. In one quick moment, our researcher identifies a sparkle and photographs it, all within minutes, while the crystal continues to grow and expand before it returns to its liquid state. A lateral view of the ice block reveals a protrusion at the top. That is because rather than growing two-dimensionally, water crystals grow three-dimensionally from the center of the core out.
So Dr. Emoto decided he was going to check a lot of different water, both spring water and some tap water, things from other places that really didn't have great water. So that I'm going to show you in a little while. But he also showed words to water. And he said, in the beginning, there was the word. Now, if you've ever read the Bible, that sounds familiar, right? Right? It says right in the beginning. And he believes that words are hado, or vibrations. So I love this part that he says, words were created by great nature. Therefore, beautiful words create beautiful nature, and ugly words create ugly nature. And he said, this is the root of the universe. And so he took 2 vials of water. He wrote, "You fool" on one, and he wrote, "Thank you" on the other, and he left it there overnight. And then he took a droplet of water out of each vial. This is what "you fool" turned into. Something pretty ugly looking. And we never got a good look at a water crystal. It was just horrible looking. And this is "thank you," a beautiful water crystal that came out of those words. So if we're thinking about what we're saying, not only to somebody else, but to ourselves, what is this doing to us? What is this doing to our own bodies when we're not saying something that's nice or something positive? This is what we went over today. This is emotion. Self-love. We talked about that too, about being able to look in a mirror and see the love that's within in each one of us. Love for humanity. Hope. Mother's cooking. Depends on what mother. You don't want to, I don't think mine would turn into anything too much. I love this one because it's the love of husband and wife. And see, there's 2 crystals together. You can't make this stuff up, right? And here is war, and he noticed that it created a broken crystal. And it represents the fact that wars are not going to create anything. This is peace. And this is family love. And you see now there's another crystal that formed with the 2 parents. So I love that one too.
It looks like a ring.
Right? Now this is love and thanks. And this was Dr. Emoto's favorite crystal, and it was mine too. And now I'm going to tell you how I got to meet him. When I read the book and I saw this, I said, oh my God, this is beautiful. And I love jewelry and I love rings. And I said, wouldn't this make a gorgeous ring? And well, I had the idea of taking one of these pictures and putting it on a box with a little pamphlet inside of what it represented and having a ring made like this. Cool. Then I realized one of my best friends is a jewelry designer.
Wow.
So I called her up, told her what I wanted to do, showed her this, and she said, this is a great idea. And we found out that Dr. Emoto was going to be in California. He lived in Japan. And she calls me up. She says, we should go. I said, I don't know if we're going to be able to see him. She said, let's just try. Within 2 weeks, she designed a whole thing of jewelry. She had watches. She had necklaces. And not that we made them, but at least we designed them and she had them all drawn. This represents that she made. And so we ended up going to California, but I wanted to at least let Dr. Emoto know that we wanted to see him. I found out that he had a satellite office in California. I called, and who answers the phone? His son.
Wow.
And I told him what we wanted to do, and he loved it. And he said, when you come here, I'm going to have the president of the company. We're going to meet with you, and we're going to go over what you want to do. And they loved us, and they said that a big company came to them with something very similar, but they wanted to work with us because we had the same spiritual beliefs. And to make another long story short, we were not able to come to terms with business terms for it. So we weren't able to do that. However, I met Dr. Emoto, and I found out that he had a school, a Hado instructor school.
Wow.
And so I decided I'm going to go. And this was at graduation.
Oh, thank you.
Cool.
And he loved children, so we had a lot in common. And he actually wrote a book. He wrote a lot of books, and some for kids, but he wrote this. And it shows a lot of his experiments in here. And later on, I'll tell you what he did at the United Nations. So we talked about how to say something, right? This is do it. So isn't that it's kind of harsh.
Mm-hmm.
It's a command. And this is what it turned into. This is let's do it.
Oh,
So isn't that more like we're going to work together? It's softer, and it shows really not only what we say, but how we say it.
there's a heart right in the center.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
So now he went and he looked at all different spring water, and I'll show some of this to you. So this is again in Japan, in spring water. Soji, Japan. This is gorgeous. I love this. Niagara Falls. This is a fountain in Lourdes, France.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Okay, this is Lake Maggiore in Switzerland. And this is a glacier in Canada. And then he took tap water around the world. This is,
Yikes.
this is Yikes. They should have named the city Yikes. This is the Yodo River in Japan. This is tap water in Tokyo.
Ooh. Wow.
Los Angeles. I don't think we want to see Manhattan water or where I live there. Then he showed music to water. And he took two speakers and put a vial of water in between. And he played music. And this is Beethoven's Pastoral. This is Mozart, Symphony number 40 in G minor, And he claims that Mozart music actually helps to heal your heart.
Wow.
This is Edelweiss from The Sound of Music. This is Silent Night.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
This is, Deirdre, you're going to love this. John Lennon.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Awesome.
So stories.
Yeah.
And this is Heartbreak Hotel.
Oh.
Look how this is breaking up. Isn't that so?
That is kind of. Yeah.
Wow.
Heartbreak. Okay.
Now, this is heavy metal music. No, I'm not telling you not to listen to heavy metal music, but just know that this is what it turns
The
into,
vibration.
as opposed to classical music.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
said the best music to listen to, of course, is classical music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Heavy metal is
Always.
just it's chaos.
Yes.
Classicism.
Yeah, me.
So now he showed pictures to water. And these are dolphins, and you put a bottle of water on top of that. And you kind of see the dolphins coming together in the middle here. The next one is like a shrine in Tokyo. And you see the actual shape of that in the water crystal.
That's so amazing.
This, I think everybody knows, is an elephant. And look at the tusks.
Oh my gosh.
These cherry blossoms. And you see that too. And here you see the heart that was drawn on the bottle of water, and you see the crystal turning into a heart.
Awesome.
And here he says, again, water is H2O,
Yep.
and he believes that gratitude and love, like we saw with the crystal, gratitude is the creator of the heart filled with love, and love leads the feelings of gratitude in the right direction. So he says gratitude squared and love. So I really like what he did there. And he said water's ability to resuscitate. So this was something really horrible. And when he showed love to it, it was tap water, it actually started to turn into a crystal. Here, he showed love and thanks to it, and that's what it turned into. Here is severe acute respiratory syndrome. And here is when he showed love and thanks to that. Each one of them turned into something much, much nicer looking. So if we're sick, if we give love and thanks to ourselves, if we send love and thanks to other people because we are all connected, this is what we can accomplish. Now, this is the effect of magnetic waves on water. So here you have a computer. That's what it turned into, the bottle of water. Same thing with a cell phone. We all want our cell phones, and that's what it turned into.
Black hole.
And this is what it turned into when he showed love and thanks to it. This is a microwave, and he tells us do not use a microwave, but we will do. At least most of us. This is that's when he showed love and thanks to that. And this he gives an experiment that kids can do. I do this with my junior church when I started it. He wrote, this is rice, and he has water on one and peace on the other. And basically what it is, you tell the kids every day for 30 days, go buy these. And you say, I love you to one and like you fool to the other. And you'll see that the rice that you said war to or something negative turns into something pretty ugly looking. And then the other one pretty much stays like the white rice. Then he did another one where he had white rice and then he had 3 white rice. One of them he wrote something nasty on. One of them was something very nice, but the other one they just didn't even look at. They totally ignored it. Well, you would think the black one would be the one that had something not great on it, but it was the one that was ignored that turned into something pretty ugly. So we see what happens when people don't have love. We see what happens when we don't care about people, when we ignore them. It's actually worse in some ways than saying something nasty to them. So he said an issue of place and infection. He's noticed that with all the different wars, there were also pandemics.
Oh.
And he said if infection and diseases continue to spread worldwide, 5 billion people would be dead, which is predicted by experts. And look at what's happened. And he says when people start to kill each other, microorganisms also start to kill. So he says, let's convert the field and take technology to convert a negative field into a positive one by drinking good water, listen to good music, and keep your consciousness positive. That is the biggest thing. So he said the cause and the cure is consciousness. If you have been made sick by the emotion of hate, then you need to turn that around and look for healing in the emotion of appreciation. All we need to do is emit the emotion that is the opposite to the negative emotion. So fear and anger, we need to turn to faith and love, and anxiety and conflict into peace and harmony. And he says the law of energy. The law of energy is created by people's consciousness. So here we have Einstein's E equals MC squared, and Dr. Emoto says energy equals the world population times consciousness. And this is, and so he showed, I'm sorry, I should go back. Here he said in the year 1900, there were only 1.5 billion people. In the year 2000, there was 6 billion people on Earth. Here he says modern age is like a rapid spinning top. The left is the ancient, and then speed up that, and you get what we have now, right? Aren't we all saying time is going too fast?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's exactly what he was talking about. And he says, yes, water loves the vibration of love and thanks the most because that water crystal, love and thanks, equals immunity. That's what helps us keep health and vitality and strength, is that love and thanks. Because when we have the positive thoughts of love and thanks, our consciousness won't let anything else in, right? How can it if you have a positive and a high vibration of consciousness? And he said that the earth is short of immunity. And he said that offering prayers and positive consciousness can actually transform water. And he said, let us send love and thanks to our planet, Earth. And this is the power of prayer for the water, for peace. And this is another short video.
Next, we conducted another experiment, one that involved projecting our thoughts onto water and testing the effects of human thought forms and words. Through our website, we rounded up a group of volunteers to help us with this experiment. 4 groups of parents and their children participated. In this experiment, we used 2 glasses of tap water taken from Tokyo. We should note here that crystal formation has always eluded the waters of Tokyo. To 1 glass, all of the participants expressed gratitude, first out loud, then with their eyes closed. Next, they observed the water for any changes.
水さんを大切にします。水さんを大切にします。じゃあ今言った言葉、水に対する思い、これをみんなで目をつぶって持ってください。はい、じゃあ目をつぶってください。1分間です。
The researcher is now transferring this water onto petri dishes. The children look on curiously.
最初にみんながいろんな
3 hours later, the frozen water is ready for observation.
無理を込めて言葉を込めた文章を見ていきます。
We will start with the water that was left alone. Like so many times before, once again, we observed a total lack of beautiful crystal formation in the tap water from Tokyo. Next, we will observe the water that was exposed to good thoughts. The children gaze into the monitor. What will happen to the tap water when their thoughts become one? Then, from within the darkness of the microscope, a small crystal appeared and slowly started to grow. A magnification increase revealed the sudden emergence of a single crystal, clear and simple, as if to epitomize the thoughts of the people who had gathered. And then... In response to the words and thoughts of the participants, the tap water from Tokyo produced a beautifully balanced crystal. Through crystallization, water is telling us that it can act as our mirror, that it can reflect human thought. Water has the ability to show us what we cannot see. The same water also flows through our bodies and nurtures all life on Earth.
And this is what Terry does all the time. This is what we're going to do today, too. So here it shows you again how prayer works. This is Koto Dama experiment at Fujiwara Dam. So the dam was kind of ugly looking, and it was very, it wasn't calm at all. This is what it looked like. Then he had a Buddhist monk come and pray for it for an hour. And look how calm it is. And this is what it turned into. It shows how powerful our prayers are. This is Gregorian chant. This is the word Amen. This is hands joined in prayer. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I've never heard of. Namo Myoho Butsu. Has anybody, you did hear that one? And here he has a mandala, and he put a vial of water on top of it, and this is what it turned into. This is Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, future of the picture of the Star of David, the Quran, and this is the major religions put together. But you can see it's all one. Everything is all one. So he started a project of love and thanks to water. And during a seminar at the United Nations in 2004, Dr. Emoto declared July 25th as the World Day of Love and Thanks to Water. And he said, let us send love and thanks to all water in our physical body because it has sustaining and nurturing lives on the planet. And he says, and we talked about this before too, this means love yourself first. So important to be able to do that. And there's a website, thankwater.net. I don't think the email address is working anymore. And then at home, he tells us, let us send our love and thanks to a glass of water. I actually have big gallons of water in my house, and I actually write on them what I want to be able to have health and love, etc. All the water on earth is connected with each other, and a glass of water contains the water of the entire earth. And on a larger scale, let us stand together around a pond, at a lake, at a river, or along the seashore and send everyone thanks and love to that water. And the power of prayer will be proportionate to the square of the number of people that are there. So we can remember that together. And then he said the consciousness of every single person changes the world. Let us put the following imaginations as we send love and thanks to water. Let us imagine that the hado, or the vibration of love and thanks, is flowing and reacting to the water. When the earth is filled with high vibration of hado, it will bring harmony and all can be healed. And we have changed that consciousness and the healing and the harmony. And let us imagine that the world peace is being achieved through the circulation of this water, and pray together for world peace. And Dr. Emoto had another project. And during his keynote speech at a conference of the United Nations in 2005, he organized this Emoto project. And as part of that, he was actually giving these away to as many children as he can.
Wow.
Now, he passed away in 2014. He wanted to give it to 650 million copies, but from 2006 to 2016. Now, I've tried to contact his son, Hiromasa. He must have changed his email address because I can't seem to get a hold of him. I wanted to get an idea if he knew how many of these were actually given out. But as I said, he loved children and he wanted children to know all of this when they were little. And that's one of the reasons why I want to get to children as early as possible to have them understand this, because at that point they have a much different life than a lot of us have had. They're more confident, they're more successful, and they live more positively. So we said March 22nd is the International Observance of World Water Day. And the World Water Day falls on March 22nd every year. And if you want to find out a little bit more, you can also go on his website and I'll give you some things about that. And I just wanted you to listen to a song that he had made, because to me, it's absolutely beautiful.
All across the universe, Milky Way, river of light. I wonder why I am here, standing on this earth. Why do we breathe and say, where do we go from here? Let us ask ourselves, the water each of us. All we need is love. All we need is a thank you. I will give the simple gift, all one in harmony. Listen to the voice within, the water inside of us, rippling through our soul, dancing crystal clear. Sing to her a melody with soft angel voice. You can change anything, delivering harmony. Raindrops falling from the sky, nature's greatest gift, bringing goodness to our earth with kind of love. All we need is love. All we need is a thank you. I will give the simple gift, all one in harmony. We can all hold our hands, sharing light and harmony, embracing our hearts with light of love. All we need is love. All we need is a thank you. I will give the simple gift, all one in harmony. I will give the simple gift, all in
So I use this to show children, because if you just tell them that their thoughts and their words are going to end up in their experiences, when they see this, their mouths drop to the floor and they get it. They see it. They can see it with their own eyes. So thank you, everyone, for listening today.
Oh,
Thank
you. Wow.
Now we know what to do when we need Charlie to fall asleep.
Play music.
Yes, yeah.
Do you have like a PDF or anything?
You know, I have my hearing aids in and I still can't hear everybody else.
It does speak very strong.
Yeah.
Do you have a meeting in every